for stopping by, and today we are going to be talking about the top 2 DPS mods that we're going to compare just to figure out which one is the better one in your slot. So this video is not going to include Fortress that you get from the Death Shield. What this is going to do is going to go over the 2 mods that we currently know about, which are Dark Sacrifice and then Killing Spree. Now, the reason why we're going to go over these 2 mods specifically is because they work in different ways, but they give out about the same percentage. So, but there is a little bit of a caveat with Dark Sacrifice and how it's worded within the mod description. So, the reason why I'm not including Fortress is because Fortress kind of goes off of what your armor base is, and these 2 don't go over off of your armor. What they do is they just go over or add to the weapon damage or the weapon output. Now, if that sounds good to you, let's just go ahead and get right into this. So from the video footage that you just saw, the gameplay footage, you saw that we had the Dark Sacrifice on the left and the Killing Spree on the right. Now, before the patch went live, Dark Sacrifice was not working. You know, you could lose about 25% health and it would only proc maybe about 20% weapon damage. And if you lost any more health from that, you wouldn't be able to benefit from Dark Sacrifice. It really did nothing for you. But post patch, Dark Sacrifice has come out on top with what you just saw. Now, the gear that I used was this whole build right here. Nothing was changed on the armor. Everything was still the same. Now, I had to, go through several different assault rifles in order to try and get the crit damage, status power, and close range damage. And then, of course, the Earthborn Renegade has long range damage. So, because of the way I was fighting, it really didn't matter regarding long range and close range, because there's no medium. It's either you're close or you're long. There's no happy medium in between. And because I was playing close range pretty much the whole time, the difference was pretty much nothing. And from the footage that you saw, you could tell that there was a significant weapon difference, but that's because the mods were proccing. It had nothing to do with your range. So, but let's go over the Dark Sacrifice just to go over it. During combat, your weapon drains up to 50% of your max health in exchange for 75% weapon damage bonus. Now, 75% weapon damage bonus. The problem with this mod is that it doesn't necessarily do weapon damage bonus. The way that it's worded is that the 75% is a separate multiplicative that gets put on top of whatever your weapon damage is. Whereas with Killing Spree, killing shots increase damage by 25% for this weapon for 20 seconds. Bonus deteriorates with time and stacks up to 3 kills. So every 3 kills, you'll get 75% increased damage for this specific weapon, whereas Dark Sacrifice, you're going to be having 75% weapon damage overall. The problem with Dark Sacrifice is that because the way that they have this worded, this only affects your weapons. This only affects if it's on your weapon. It doesn't affect your skills. It doesn't affect anything else that you plan on using. So the intent behind Dark Sacrifice is that it is supposed to be a high risk, high reward mod, and post patch, Dark Sacrifice comes out on top for weapon damage because it is a separate multiplicative multiplier adding on top of the weapon damage that you currently have. So if we go into the class section, you can see that my class right now is the Pyro class, and then I have you can tell that I have the weapon damage here, 8%, weapon damage by 10% against marked enemies, so on and so forth. And this is the same class being used as well in the footage that you saw before with Killing Spree. So thinking, why is Dark Sacrifice now starting to become more apparent rather than Killing Spree? Well, the issue is because the way that Dark Sacrifice is worded is that the 75% weapon damage affects the weapon and only the weapon. Again, this doesn't affect your skills. This doesn't affect if you were trying to spec into your anomaly or your defense at all, because the classes are separate with weapon damage itself. Say if you were to take this off completely, you're just going to get that 75% weapon damage, because right now it is being attenuated as a separate multiplier. Now, is this what the developers intended with Dark Sacrifice, was to have it be its own percentage? Maybe so. It would make a lot of sense if it was, just because 75% weapon damage is a lot of bonus, especially when you are losing health. Now, you're probably thinking, well, Dark Sacrifice isn't that much, you know, it isn't really worth the reward with 75% weapon damage bonus. But again, if we take a look at the gameplay, you can see that the way I have this build spec'd out is I'm still, because it's pyro and you're marking your characters, and every character that you eliminate gives you that health back, you know, you're kind of negating what that is, what Dark Sacrifice is supposed to be doing. Now, you can see that the damage numbers do fluctuate from time to time, but is very like insignificant, because you're still losing that health in exchange for the 75% weapon damage. But because you are losing that health, you're still getting that 75% weapon damage. You're not just getting, you know, 10% or 20% or 30% in increments. You're getting that 75% weapon damage bonus, even though you are losing that max health, because that is what is being procced. Whereas Killing Spree, if you're doing Killing Spree, then, you know, you're only doing a 25% weapon for 20 seconds, another 25, another 25, and every 20 seconds, one of those 25s is going to fall off, and so on and so forth. So overall, I honestly do recommend that you run Dark Sacrifice. Now, Dark Sacrifice is very situational. This isn't going to be, you know, you run into a CT15 and you're going to be able to eliminate everything pretty much with one shots or anything like that. It is very situational, especially if you're playing the Trickster class, where you have to be up close and personal. You're definitely going to want to have something on the back end to help you regain some of your health. Even though Trickster does give you that shield, your health is still going to fall off, because that is how Dark Sacrifice works. So with that being said, definitely Dark Sacrifice is very situational in whichever build that you're trying to run. But I do recommend you give it a shot, and you will notice a significant difference when you do place it onto one of your weapons. Now, I haven't tried this on any of the shotguns like the Bulwark or anything like that. I did try it with Fatal Symbiont, the submachine gun, and I added Killing Spree to it, and this was not a good choice to use, because there was just no... The submachine gun class is very underpowered right now. Honestly, I really do hope they kind of give it a buff, maybe 1,000 extra damage, just to kind of keep it on par with something, especially because of the spread and the accuracy of the submachine guns and how close you have to be for them to actually be accurate. But it was not working with what I was doing. Now, I didn't try it with another class. I didn't try it with Trickster, where you have to be up close and personal in general. I did try it just with the pyro, and I haven't tried it with the shotgun yet, but I can see that if you add Dark Sacrifice, let's say onto the Bulwark or onto the Funeral Pyro, another automatic shotgun, you might benefit from it. If you're going to use the Death Shield, again, with Fortress, and then on top of Dark Sacrifice, you're probably going to want to have, again, something to negate the damage fall off with your health. So you're going to want to spec into or have some weapon leech or some healing received bonuses if you are planning on running this on a different class. Because Pyro marks all of the enemies in the surrounding area for you with their skills, then that's kind of like your damage, your health damage negate right there. There's really no point in having you spec into max health on your armor. Weapon leech on your weapons is very good, though. That does help because you are leeching the health from the enemy and you are taking that health back. And again, like I said, because the weapon drains up to 50% of your max health in exchange for 75% weapon damage, it goes down in increments, but you're still getting that 75% weapon damage bonus. That is it. That is the comparison between Dark Sacrifice and Killing Spree. And if you found this video informational and informative, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification for more Outriders content. And again, thank you so much for the support. We just passed the 2,000 subscriber mark, and it has been a real pleasure making these videos for you all. Again, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to let the video play out. I really hope you enjoy your week, and I'll catch you around in the next video. Likes appreciated, subs respected. Take care.
there's a passage leading below the meteorite. Yep. Reeks of monsters. The beasts found themselves a pod. I'm gonna ask if they're willing to give it back. Tahiti, I found a pod down here, guarded by monsters. I've secured it, and plenty of rock samples for you to play.
Perfect. Access granted. I can't wait to run the tests. Strange that the monsters are interested in the pods. Perhaps they're drawn to the humming from the electronics inside.